Some heavy rain, gusty winds will be the main impacts that we'll see along with this. What we're expecting is a big line of thunderstorms to come through on Friday afternoon and evening. Want to reiterate, most of your Friday is going to be quiet, save the wind. Might find some showers in the morning, and an isolated thunderstorm will be a possibility in the afternoon. If a storm pops up in the afternoon, that's where we need to monitor the tornado, the hail threat as well. But most of us, when we see the rain Friday evening, we're talking the high wind, the heavy rain threat, though we can't rule out an isolated tornado as of right now. So the biggest thing I want you to know, just stay aware Friday evening. You're going to be good to go.
And then we went out again ahead of News 3 at 10 and followed that line as it came through, waited in Caldwell, and that's where we encountered some of the winds. Took cover at a gas station at the Valero just west of downtown in Caldwell, and then we were able to follow that line of storms back into Brazos County. And since we've come back along Highway 21, we've seen some intermittent power outages and a couple power flashes that we saw out on the horizon. The good news is after some of those power flashes and when y'all last spoke to us, it looked like the power was completely out in town. From what we've been able to see, the power has been completely restored to at least this portion of Caldwell.
The water we use here is different and deeper than most across the state use. Where many depend on water closer to the surface, largely affected by the weather above, the Brazos Valley sits on top of a groundwater system thousands of feet below us, under a tremendous amount of pressure that we use to pump right up into our taps. Father's Day across the Brazos Valley is going to be hot for everybody. It's going to be humid for everybody, but a few of us might get that inopportune downpour at maybe the wrong time of day when you're out grilling or at the lake. So at your house, maybe it's a torrential downpour, while your next door neighbor Dale, he may be dealing with plenty of sunshine. Temperatures in the 90s and a good bit of breeze out there as well. So again, not rain for all of us. 70s today, 70s what we're expecting going into our Wednesday as well. Yes, it will likely be damp. We will likely start the morning off with some fog. Guess what? Going into our Thursday, looks pretty damp. Temperatures in the 70s, maybe a little bit more rain that day, but going into Friday, damp with temperatures in the 70s and a lot of cloud cover. So that's this week. The word I like to use to describe tomorrow's severe weather potential is conditional. A couple of things have to happen and a couple of the right ingredients have to come together in order to find severe weather. All that means is that the Brazos Valley has the perfect combination of heat and humidity. So lucky us. Harvey, though, is the big story for the weekend and as we head into next week, and it has really looked a lot stronger just over the past 3 hours. Almost looks like a completely different storm from what I got in just after 1 o'clock this morning. So this is about 24 hours from now, and as it continues to push off, this is late Friday night into Saturday morning. This, the most recent forecast from the National Hurricane Center that has it about Category 1 strength by the time it makes landfall. Would not be surprised to see it stronger as it actually makes landfall. And then another interesting feature that happens with this and what most models are picking up on is as it makes landfall, possibly moving back to the south and east and making its way toward the ocean. So all that being said, could be a very soggy weekend across a good portion of the Brazos Valley here right now. Not nearly as heavy as what they see there, but also Harvey starting to move back into the Matagorda Bay, and there is a chance that it begins to strengthen here as we go through the rest of the day today. Whether it's building outward along Highway 6 or with a loop all the way around Bryan College Station, we know Brazos County is only getting more urban. And with the 100-year storm now more intense than ever, we're going to need to build smart if we want to keep from needing this in our homes.
Heat advisory is in effect for portions of the Brazos Valley. Meteorologist Max Crawford joins us live from Central Park in College Station with more on that. Max.
Yeah, heat advisory. So of course I'm standing outside in the middle of the sun, right before the live shot. Our photographer Tennyson Guthrie let me hang out in the shade, but right now we are directly in the sun. It is high noon, and this is pretty typical summer heat that we're dealing with right now, but things are about to change. Heat is going to build, and we're going to be talking triple digits as early as this afternoon. There's a heat advisory in effect for a couple of spots, and we'll talk about that in just a little bit. I want to show you with some playground equipment and what can happen when it's been hitting the direct sun for a couple of hours. So we've been using this little handy dandy thermometer that we've been kind of pointing around, and in the shade, we're looking at feels like temperatures in the mid to upper 90s. So that's the heat index. That's what we always talk about. But watch this little plastic green slide that we have here. I'm going to use that thermometer to show you and just let it sit there for a little bit. And it's coming in around 150 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's right on the seat as kids are sliding down the slide.
That being said, grab a jacket. That's a good idea for most of the day today, but I think we're going to warm to about 70 this afternoon. 41 is our current temperature here in BCS. Just outside of town, though, we are widespread in the 30s, even a couple upper 20s from Conroe up through Centerville as well, coming in at 29, about 32 in Caldwell and 34 in Cameron. Biggest thing you need to know about today, layers, because we are going to warm up to about 68 to 70 by the time we get to this afternoon, and it is going to be breezy to finish the day. It's from the south now that's going to pump in a lot of Gulf moisture and keep us pretty warm going into tonight. In fact, I think by the time most of us are waking up, getting up and at 'em on Thursday, we'll be at about 60 degrees already, and you're going to feel the humidity by then as well. So that's one of the things that we're monitoring for you through the end of the week. Humidity comes roaring back, not with us right now. It's pretty dry out there, but very shortly, we're going to see a lot of Gulf moisture to work with. That's going to be fuel for some thunderstorms as early as Friday afternoon. I think some showers may be into our Friday. Here's the front coming through Friday night, and with that is where we're going to see our best chance for rain and the potential for a strong storm or two as well. So let me talk time frame for you. Clouds are back tomorrow morning. I think the shower activity may start as we go into the afternoon, so good idea to bring the rain gear along with you. We're talking about 1/10 of an inch or so. No thunderstorms expected for Thursday, but anytime afternoon on Friday, we will need to watch, especially if we can find some sunshine. That could be enough to pop up some thunderstorms, and any storms that do form in the afternoon could turn strong pretty quickly with wind as the main threat. But the best overall shot at showers and storms will be as this front pushes through. Still looks like evening time going into our Friday. So that will likely be a line of thunderstorms with strong winds, heavy rain as the main threat to go along with that. And then once the front pushes through, that severe threat is going to be over. We'll stay breezy going into Friday night and into our Saturday, but it will be dry. Isolated tornado will be a possibility, telling you that more to alert you, not to alarm you. Don't think that the vast majority of us are going to experience that. If you do see any strong activity, it will be more likely high winds, frequent lightning, and some heavy rain as well. So we'll continue to watch that for you. I think most of us will stay dry through a good chunk of the day going into our Friday. It's into the late afternoon, into the evening. So as you get into your early weekend plans, I want you to have the Pinpoint Weather app downloaded, Facebook, Twitter, something like that on your mobile device so you can keep with the latest with us as we go into the evening. Back to tonight, we'll be at about 60 or so waking up, and then we're into the mid to upper 70s tomorrow, so probably no jackets needed, but grab the rain gear just in case for Thursday afternoon and certainly by the end of the day on Friday. Saturday and Sunday look to be dry. It will be a breezy start to the weekend, about 55 only the high on Saturday, so that's a big change of pace from this past weekend. You'll probably need the jacket through most of the weekend. Then it gets spring-like again going into early next week. Right now it looks like it will be much colder to finish the week next week. So
yeah, that
a lot
is
of stuff going on.
A whole lot of everything.
Yeah, and absolutely. So Friday afternoon into evening, stay weather aware. We're going to keep you updated on everything. Very much a big if we see severe weather, but again, we'll keep an eye on it for you through the evening.
As you keep tracking it, it gets closer. Thanks, Max.
You bet.
Had a couple of accidents here. Number one, an 18-reeler. Looks like everybody's okay, and then there was another one if we were to turn around. Red sedan has also crashed. It looks like they're trying to get traffic to move along just fine on southbound. It slowed down northbound. Can confirm those power flashes that we saw a little bit earlier. Looked like a tornado crossed right over Highway 6 as we were just maybe a half a mile a little bit farther north down the road.
Heaviest thunderstorm that we have right now in our area is just about to slide onto the 77 corridor from about Lexington all the way up to near Rockdale and into Cameron as well. This is non-severe, but could pack a little bit of a punch, but a whole lot of drier air, at least in the short term, coming our way, which should allow us to drain some of these creeks and kind of reload for the potential for some showers and storms a little bit later today. That yellow dot that you see with a bunch of other pulsating dots, that is the original earthquake, revised to a 7.9 magnitude. That is one of the strongest earthquakes felt on Earth in the past 30 years or so.
We want to talk a little bit of science here on News 3 at noon, and what we have a picture of right here is called a skew-T log P, and it's basically a profile of the atmosphere, talking temperature and moisture as it travels up in the atmosphere. So
Did you know a safari is coming to Aggieland? Don't go anywhere. We're meeting Sheila, the baby kangaroo, in just a bit.
All right, 6:03, checking in with Max Crawford. You know what? I'm going to choose to look on the bright side today.
Okay,
It's
let's
a
hear it.
little bit cooler today than it has been.
Sure.
Not,
What else do you got for me?
A little less foggy.
Is it?
That's
Okay.
good. Yeah, a little bit.
That's all I got.
That's fine. Well, it's Friday.
Yes, this is true.
There you go. There's the.
It's a pretty familiar feeling in late September or even early September when a very weak cold front comes through. You got a nice north wind, clouds stick around, and you're stoked that you're in the 70s. You'll be able to see it all the way through the day. So come out. There's still a couple of spots to sign up, do some crowdfunding, and get up here on the roof and have an adventure of a lifetime. All right, real quick, got to talk some weather because number one, it is beautiful out here. Number two, we've got some big changes headed our way for the weekend and into next week. So real quick look outside. There's Briarcrest and Highway 6, not too far from where we are. It is beautiful out there.